Welcome to the Designer Debrief. This is where I sit down with you once a month and I get you up to speed so that you don't miss out on all of the pertinent luxury news, upcoming drops, collaborations, all of that. You are up to here with the knowledge and it is my job to deliver it to you. Guys, if you are new here, my name is Cassie and I'm a self-diagnosed luxury addict. I put out videos on Mondays, Wednesdays and Fridays, so if you like luxury fashion, well, then you're probably going to love it here. So head down there, subscribe, turn on the bell, become a member of our luxury addicted family. When are we going to rehab? Never. I also have a Substack that will be linked below. Let's kick things off with luxury news. The CFDA awards were held early in November and I thought that I would quickly go through some of the winners. By the way, if you would like a behind the scenes look at what the CFDAs is like, I have a whole vlog because I went. I know, not to toot my own horn, but it is a top 5 experience that I will remember for the rest of my life. That will be linked below. So, the American Women's Wear Designer of the Year award went to Ralph Lauren. We're talking a lot about Ralph today, so keep that in mind. The American Men's Wear Designer of the Year was Tom Brown. Accessories designer went to Mary-Kate and Ashley of The Row. Unsurprising. And the emerging designer was Ashlyn Park, whose brand is called Ashlyn. And she really focuses on sustainability, really interesting like sculptural pieces, basics that aren't too basic, that kind of thing. So keep an eye out for her. Seems like we will be hearing more from Ashlyn. And the International Designer of the Year went to Peter Mulier of Alfre. So that is that. Then we had the List Index Q3 2025 results come in. Little bit of a change here because really we've been seeing Prada and Miu Miu kick it about in the top 3 for a long time. Really, it's been Miu Miu that everybody's been obsessed with for the last sort of year to 18 months. However, swooping in at number 1 is Saint Laurent, mainly credited to their commitment to a very specific silhouette and style. It's those really oversized 80s power suit shoulders, very, very triangular shaped, okay? A lot of the designs, bold colours. They're doing something really different when it comes to luxury fashion and trends, which is nice to see. And I'm glad that they've got the top spot because of that. Searchers as well contributed towards their spot through the Le Loafer, which made it into number 2 on the hottest products list, which we'll get into next, and searches for mini bags. Saint Laurent, obviously, bags are a massive part of their business, but almost to the point that they don't even have to show them on a runway. If you've noticed, you'll never see any bags on Saint Laurent runways because they sell themselves on the shelf. So that's a fascinating little tidbit. In the top 3, you then have Miu Miu at number 2, COS at number 3, and in 4th place we have The Row. When we now get to the hottest product, 50% of the hottest products were shoes. And I think that this is, again, a very interesting finding, especially with sort of the economy the way it is. People do still want to splurge, but we know that people are being more intentional and maybe they're focusing on those pieces that are a little bit more approachably priced, namely shoes and other accessories, right? So the Le Loafer is in there, the Rose Loafer is in there, ding, ding, ding. Loafers are having a moment. Good for you. I'm not a loafery girl. Take your pick. Nike has 2 of the shoes on the list, and the hottest product of Q3 2025 were the humble Havaiana flip-flops. Flip-flops really had a moment this summer. We had the Row Dune flip-flops have their moment, and also the rise of Havaianas are always in. They're a constant. I mean, like, they're iconic. So good for them being there. The other thing that made it onto this list was the Savette Symmetry pouch. As you know, I myself am a fan. It's out of reach. You know I've got one. And I like these. I like these a lot. So I'm happy to see them there. The next piece of fashion news, Olivier Rousteing has stepped down as creative director of Balmain after 14 years, and Antonin Tron will step into his role as creative director of Balmain. Now, Olivier really, 14 years is a long time, and for somebody, around in your 30s, this is really who we've mainly known to be the designer for Balmain. He was Balmain and vice versa. He gave us the popularization of the biker jean. We had the creation of the Balmain army. And if you were into fashion during this time, oh my gosh, the Balmain army was it. You wanted to be one of the Balmain army girls, okay? It was, you know, they were fierce and ferocious, and he had such a very distinct style within the brand. It's very specific cuts, sharp shoulders. You had incredible tailoring and hardware and use of embroidery, and everything was very over the top. And in a time when, obviously, people's trends sort of turned towards more minimalist pieces, Balmain really has always been consistent in where do I go to get razzle dazzle and unapologetic glamour. There you go. I will say I didn't quite like the use of the term ends their collaboration after 14 years. I think that kind of minimizes everything that he's done. But that's just a me thing. And in we have Antonin Tron, who has his own brand Atline, not sure, which is very known for its sort of like manipulation of jersey. I'm not gonna lie to you, I had to look up this man. I was unaware of him. That's on me. If that's, you know, I can't keep up with it all. I try my best. He's previously worked at Saint Laurent, Givenchy and Balenciaga. His first collection will show in March of 2026. Next up, the Met Gala exhibition has been announced. So this is going to be called Costume Art. It will be shown in the first permanent costume gallery in the Met Gala, which will be in prime position. It's previously been in the basement. So that's that. And this collection, the head curator Andrew Bolton sort of mentioned that it's talking about the significance of the body, the indivisible connection between our bodies and the clothes we wear. The exhibition will be split into 3 parts. It will be bodies in art. So like, you know, it tends to be nude bodies, it tends to be sculpture, those sorts of things. Bodies overlooked, aging bodies, pregnant bodies, those sorts of things, and the anatomical body. Interesting. Now, as we know, the Met Gala theme is very closely related to the theme of the exhibition. So let's see when this announcement will come, which will probably be beginning of next year. But this gives us an inkling as to what we can expect. Now, there has also been some controversy over this exhibition because it does say at the very bottom of the announcement, with thanks to our sponsors, Jeff and Lauren Sanchez Bezos. So, and I mean, listen, there's already been like rumours kicked off sort of around their wedding time about Jeff Bezos wanting to buy Vogue for her, the fact that she even had a Vogue cover, all of that business, so people aren't too happy about that. The other main sponsor is Saint Laurent. I'll keep you updated on this, and as we know, this is the first Monday in May. It's also the day that I stay up all night to do a best and worst video for you. Anyway, this is a little bit of financial news. There is an investment fund called Luxus, which is the first investment fund to focus entirely on handbags. Essentially, what they do is they will raise a fund. I think the first one was $1 million, the second one was $2 million. And with that fund, they go out and buy a load of new in-box Hermes Birkins and Kellys, and they flip them, and the profits are shared or whatever they're done in investment funds and whatnot. This has been particularly successful in that they now have a waiting list for their next round, and it is already oversubscribed. It is really interesting and really bolsters that term investment handbags to a more quote-unquote legitimate level, maybe. DVF, down Von Furstenberg, has launched DVF Vintage. This is the latest brand to sort of sell their vintage, showcase their vintage pieces on their website for purchase. And this is a mixture of customers' vintage pieces that have been sold back to the brand or something, I'm not sure how that works, and also from her own personal vintage collection of DVF pieces. Let's move into new and noteworthy. Vivienne Westwood collaborated with Nana. I'm not really in the anime game like that. Maybe I should be. There was a time when I was a teenager that I did like a good animated, I want to call it a comic book. Is that not the term now? I think animated series or something. Animated book, a comic. Yes. Anyway, Nana is an anime, and to celebrate, I think a birthday. I think it's 20 years or something. They've collaborated with Vivienne Westwood on a selection of pieces that will only be available in stores. There are literally only t-shirts available online. And I believe that the collection surrounds the styles of 2 particular characters. So you have these really great pearl necklace pieces. Obviously it's Vivienne Westwood, phenomenal. And then you also have the armor rings, which were such a sort of like, this is again a very kind of iconic Vivienne Westwood jewellery piece. It's nice to see it sort of put back on the map a bit. I feel like it's a little bit sort of like underrated, or only if you're like a Viv fan do you know about this. But anyway, yes, that's really only in stores. Next up, we have Ralph Lauren and USPS. This is the United States Postal Service. For the 250th anniversary of USPS, Ralph Lauren will be designing the uniforms. These are going to be based on old mail carrier uniforms. There's a blazer, a hat, and a satchel involved, and I thought that was a fun little thing. Speaking of Ralph Lauren has announced their next artist in residence. So this is a series of collaborations they do. This is the 4th installment. And this collaboration is with an indigenous clothing company called Thorpe, but there's an accent on the O, so I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Let me know if you know. And this will be for Ralph Lauren's fall-winter collection. A portion of the sales of these pieces will benefit the Thunder Valley Community Development Corporation to support the Lakota Language and Education Initiative. I did want to read off the WWD announcement for this. So Ralph Lauren's Artist in Residence program is in step with the company's Design with Intent initiative, which amplifies its portrayal of America from inspiration to collaboration with communities that have inspired Ralph Lauren designs in the past. I think this is amazing. There's some really incredible pieces, and as somebody who like wasn't very well versed with American indigenous culture and everything, coming here, it's really fabulous to kind of see these designs put on the stage of a very kind of like mass market brand. Nadine Goshen, I think is how I pronounce this, or Gosson, has collaborated with Mattel on the cutest, most joyful little fine jewellery collaboration. Mattel is celebrating their 80th birthday. There's a lot of birthdays coming up. You'll hear about it. And in celebration, Nadine Goshen, who is known for like her Crayola bangle, she will basically do fine jewellery versions of toys / very boring objects and make them really cool and ridiculously over the top and fabulous. So for this collaboration, she focused on Polly Pocket. There were charms, necklaces and earrings, all in 18 karat gold with pink sapphires, and even the packaging looks like you've got like a tiny little Polly Pocket. It's so good and so fun. These were available on Nadine Goshen's website. I do believe they've all sold out, but who knows, there might be a restock and all of that if it was particularly successful. This next collaboration is one that I indulged in. It's also one that I put up a TikTok about, and everybody in the comments is telling me how stupid I am. It's fine. It's fine. Apple collaborated with Issey Miyake on the phone pocket. So this comes in a short and a long. I have the short in the colour peacock, which is this teal, and it is a knitted sling of sorts by Issey Miyake, who is the designer that Steve Jobs used to, those are the turtlenecks he used to wear, they were Issey Miyake. And the whole point of this is that, hold on a second, there we go, you put your phone in and you can carry it around. Well, isn't that the point of a bag? Yes, but as somebody who likes a little bit of TBE, maybe this also, around the shoulder, little hands-free. I don't necessarily have to carry my phone and whatnot. It's stupid, it's ridiculous. It's also apparently a very highly sought after collaboration. I was talking to somebody and they were like, oh my gosh, you managed to get your hands on one. And I was like, I was just on the website at 8 o'clock and I clicked check out and that was it. Listen, it's a fun little thing. It also reminds me of the iPod socks that used to exist back in the day. So there's a bit of nostalgia there. Don't come for me, please. This is part of my life now, and rightly or wrongly. The long version allowed you to crossbody it, and I felt like that was like a step too far for me personally. Anyway, Rimowa has announced their new colours for the next sort of year or so, and they are clay and terracotta. Not gonna lie to you, they've done much more interesting colours in the past, but there we go. Maybe the terracotta one is quite cool. Anyway, the clays. Goyard have also launched an online shop. I did a whole video going into the weeds of this and what products are available on that shop, because it's not all of them, so I'll have that linked. But these are purely available for customization, or personalization, I mean. So these are only things that if you want your initials on them and things like that, then maybe you want to have a look at the online store. I will have the link below. Vuitton is going to be dropping a series of drops early next year in celebration of, I told you they were birthdays, their 130-year birthday of the monogram. So they are going to be relaunching or doing reissues of iconic monogram collaborations and prints and whatnot that they've done in the past. So if you thought you'd missed out on the Takeshi Murakami collaboration, you've got another chance come January 2nd, I believe, from what I could ferret out. There's that. I do believe that they're also going to do the denim collection. You remember when they did, like, it was like a khaki, a pink and a blue denim, the baggy bags? They're going to be dropping that as well. Unclear on the rest. I hope that they've got a Stephen Sprouse. I hope that we get like a little bit of that again, because that would be fabulous. Anyway, keep your eyes out. I will let you know as soon as I have more information. Moving into top products. I hope you did that with me. Okay, this is a trust exercise. I'm assuming you did. Number one, Jacquemus has launched their new bag. This is the Le Valerie. And this is named after Simon Port Jacquemus's mum, and is a really great, like, the marketing around this is perfect, because it was meant to sort of highlight his mum and how sort of, you know, just the sort of daily livings of a mum and rushing about and not taking herself too seriously, and it just has this really fun, playful side of it. I also figured out, well, no, somebody told me later on that it's shot from a shorter angle, so it's like through a child's eyes, okay, of witnessing the mum go about her life. And it also shows you the different ways to use this bag. She's an evening bag. She's a bag that you can take to work. She's a bag that you can take for your errand. I think that it is very well done, even in the fact that the flap on the top of the bag isn't quite perfect. Jacquemus is very good at riding or walking this line of, like, it's not quite perfect. And I think that really works with the humour behind the brand and their marketing and everything. So the fact that the flap, you know, is still a little bit like, it's not fully flush flat. Like, it's still got a bit of movement to it. You have this sort of fun little donut that sort of seals everything in. Comes with a crossbody strap and a top handle. And I think this is a great bag. Celine has launched the Trio bag, a sort of newer version of the Trio under Phoebe Philo, but the other bag that they've launched is the Frame, which is a really fabulous little cubey bag with this frame square closure with a little Triumph logo, but then it's crumpled to the bottom of the bag. So it kind of has this, like, again, we're talking about, like, she's serious, but she's not that serious. Like there's a little bit of an unexpected edge to it that I really enjoy. And I hope that they're bringing these out in more colours as the seasons go by, because I would like one. And finally, Chanel launched a very strange collection, and I say strange because they don't usually do a Christmas collection. This is 25X. This is a very rare thing that they do. Yeah, they've launched a Christmas collection. It's hard to see how much of this is or has any design element of Mathieu Blaise. I think the shoes, it's quite obvious with that kind of pom-pommy starburst something or other that we've seen in his designs coming next year. But the bags, I can't really be sure. There's some bags that sort of look like the, you know, it's an east-west top handle, very Andiamo clutch vibes. What else was there kind of to notice? And it's just in sort of like metallics and Christmassy colours. I'm a little bit confused by it, but there we go. Let me know your thoughts on everything that we talked about today. I'm going to leave a link to another video over here in case you haven't already seen it. Have an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. In the words of my father.
If you've enjoyed it, tell your friends. If you haven't, keep your mouth shut.
I'll see you in my next video. Mwah. Bye, guys.